Joshua 1 and 2. The theology of the Bible, of course, is wrapped up in its story, and that's what we're going to get now. From Joshua all the way through the book of Esther is one really long, continuous story of the fate of Israel. We meet Joshua in chapter 1. Of course, he, 38 years ago, was one of two spies, he and Caleb, who of the 12 believed that God would give them the land of Canaan from the south. He wasn't believed, and most of that generation, of course, dies. He alone is left in the sense of being now the leader of the land. Moses will die very soon. And as a military man, he's thinking, how can we attack Canaan now from the east? They're standing in the hills of Moab, and they're looking over what amounts to be about a 10-mile valley. And tucked up against that hill of that first set of hills in Canaan is the city of Jericho. It functions more as a fort at this point in history because it is protecting Canaan from the east against invading armies. Another 15 miles or so, and on a clear day you can see the hills of Ai and Bethel. That's where they'll go next. Well, how do we defeat a walled city is the question that Joshua is considering. So he sends in two spies, and their job is to figure out, well, what is the best way to defeat this city? They meet a woman, a harlot, by the name of Rahab. She lives in the low-rent district of the city, which is in the city wall. A casemate wall system seems to have been employed here, where two walls, about 15 feet apart, are filled in with rubble, and you can dig out the rubble and create a room or a house. And so she seems to be living on the wall. And the question, of course, that they're asking her would be something like, can we get over this wall, under the wall, through the wall? Can we defeat the city by some kind of subterfuge or whatever? So they're questioning her. And the reason they have given their attention to her, of course, is that she, and this is where the story turns, she has heard of Yahweh. And she tells them that Yahweh is, here are her words, she's learned that Yahweh is the God of heaven and the God of earth, meaning he runs my world. He runs the heavens world, which is really a conversion story par excellence at this point. But what then she does is even more powerful. And let's introduce two words here that we will be seeing later. Chesed is a common word meaning or translated as mercy, but it, of course, means more than that. It's patient, loving kindness, something like that we'll see again and again in the Psalms, for example. But one other word that I find helpful here is that little Hebrew word emet. It's translated as true or truly, but has the sense in the conversation that she has with these two spies of the idea of promise keeping. Here's what she has discovered. Again, it's all rumor at this point in her mind, but now she's met these two spies. They represent the God of heaven and of earth. And what she does then is show Aman, without using the word Aman, she shows her loyalty to this God by saying this: I entrust the welfare of my family, my entire family line that lives with me here in Jericho, to a God who keeps his promises. Again, that's very new language for any ancient Near Eastern person, to trust that a God would keep his promise. But that's what Rahab does. She puts a cord out the window that the men climb down from as they head off into the hills to be safe. But let's see what happens in her trust of this God.